Today's Cajun Court.
And do you know why he would have been making donuts in your yard?
I don't know, maybe he doesn't like us or something, our family, I don't know, Your Honor.
So were they large or small tracts?
Large enough.
Okay.
$2,000 worth, Your Honor.
Mr. Franklin is often nude in his own home. It's his home, he's allowed to be nude, but it's not something I would like my child to see.
You said nude?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
nude.
So why are you
As in
watching?
naked.
Are you watching background?
No, I put up a fence.
All rise. The Honorable Jacqueline A. Scott preside. Cajun Court is now in session.
Don't make me drop my hammer.
He's the drunk. He did pay.
Just a minute. If brains was dynamite, you couldn't even blow your nose. When the bull is up to your ears, keep your mouth shut.
I ain't going back to jail. Because this is a railroad job. She probably slashed my tires with her teeth.
This isn't art, this is velvet peace.
An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Take it from me, you can overcome anything. Please change your life. Get him, Rod. Oh, we'll get along just fine when you realize I am the boss.
The plaintiff is suing the defendant for yard damage and is irate. He wants the defendant's son to fix the issue. The defendant claims that her neighbor isn't the cleanest, hinting that his yard looks like that on a daily basis. Perhaps there was one too many donuts spun out in that lawn. Find out next on today's Cajun Court TV.
Cajun Court is now in session. The Honorable Jacqueline A. Scott is presiding. All the litigants have been sworn in. This is case number 710, Muddy Mayhem.
How are you all doing today?
Very well, Your Honor.
Great, Your Honor.
I understand that you all are neighbors.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, you brought this claim against your neighbor. Seems like you had some muddy business going on. Can you explain why you're here?
Yes, Your Honor. Our son needs discipline. I came home and my yard is so destroyed, I just couldn't believe. I lost it. Got back from vacation. I've been in Florida for a good while, a couple weeks. You know, I thought I'd come home and everything's all right. I see my yard is just destroyed. I spent hundreds of dollars on this yard. And, you know, I want something back. Her son needs to fix this. I mean, I'm mad. I'm seriously mad.
And so I see that you're suing for $2,000
Yes, ma'am.
damage,
Yes, Your Honor.
along with your pain and suffering. Can you describe the yard?
It looks like, Your Honor, it looks like donuts. It's just, you know, there's bushes all messed up. The trees have been, I don't know what he all did, you know. It's just crazy. I saw it on my cell phone on surveillance. I have a security system I can look at. So I do, you know, have evidence to look at it.
And how do you know it was your neighbor's kid?
That's like I said, Your Honor, it was on my security system. I have an app on my phone, and I can look at it, and I have my evidence on my flash drive.
So tell me something. Give me a little background about your relationship. You all live near each other. Do you all know each other?
Basically, Your Honor, I believe they've been here for like 15 years. They're never home. They are a member of the HOA. There's our neighborhood association. We never see them in any meetings. So I don't know. They just leave their son. They got problems, some sort. I don't know.
Okay, we're going to see if we can solve these problems. So, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
What about your family? Tell me something about your family.
Our family, well, we get along pretty good. I imagine, you know, regular families, you know, our kids are gone and everything.
Your children, you have children?
Yeah, they're grown. Our family's grown
children.
right now. They're, you know, have their own
you don't have any
grandkids
kids?
and stuff. Yeah, I'm 68, so.
So tell me about your yard.
Well, yard, keep it pretty good. I spend a lot of time. That's one of my hobbies. You know, I love to work on the landscaping. I'm mowing the grass and this kind of stuff. I mean, my gosh.
So you like to work in the yard?
Yes, ma'am.
You like to manicure that yard
Yes,
and have it
ma'am.
looking good. So you got a situation where you got donuts in the yard.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's your son? Is my understanding he was going to be here?
Yes, Your Honor. He is ill, however.
He
He
is
was not
ill?
able to attend in person. I do have a written statement from him.
Okay, and we'll get to that in just a minute. You identified the kid. Now, was there any other kid? Was it just one kid? Or
Just one kid, ma'am.
one kid.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know why he would have been making donuts in your yard?
I don't know, maybe he doesn't like us or something, our family. I don't know, Your Honor.
And so how close in proximity does this kid live to you? Because evidently you know him and you know that was her kid.
Yeah, they're right next door to us, actually. They have a big fence.
Okay.
You know, they always stay private, so we don't know what they're doing back there.
Can you describe the bicycle? I know you brought probably a picture, but tell me something about this bike.
It's like a little Stingray type of bike, type of deal. You go around, you know, I hadn't had a bike since I was a kid.
So if he was able to make these donuts, the ground must be muggy.
Well, you know, we've had a lot of rain, Your Honor, so a lot of times, you know, the ground's a little soft and moist, so, you know, if you go around, it's going to show, you know, little dents around the yard.
So were they large or small tracks?
Large enough.
Okay.
$2,000 worth, Your Honor.
Tell me why you had to pay $1,000.
Well, you know, according to landscapers and all that, what it would, you know, what they charge and estimate, they figured it'd be that to get it back to where it was and all the grass. And all
you said earlier that you worked in the yard.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. But I'm just checking estimates.
Okay. But let me hear something from the defendant here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, how old is your son?
Your Honor, he is 15 years old.
15. How many children do you have?
Just one son.
15 years. What do you do for a living?
I'm a sales consultant along with my husband.
Are you home or gone?
We're mostly at home. We do occasionally have conferences that will take us out of town 2 or 3 days at the most. Our son is a teenager, so he's sometimes left at home.
I want to hear more about your job and your son, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
You heard the plaintiff say that you all are never at home. Can you explain that statement to me and why he's saying that?
I'm not clear why he would say that. We are home most of the time, and as he said, there is a large fence between our properties, so I don't know why he has such interest in whether we're home or not.
Well, you never come to the meetings. We have HOA meetings. You never show up. We like to know who you are.
Sir, I attend those meetings. You are not there.
You all talk to me.
I was there.
Don't talk to each other. Your son, according to him, destroyed his yard.
So the reason I have a bit of an issue with the word destroyed is that my son did ride his bike in Mr. Franklin's yard. However, the state of the yard has been an issue, and it's been brought up at HOA meetings multiple times since I have been on the board, which has been.
So you do attend the meetings?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And what do they say about his yard?
Well, so I have been on the board for the past 7 years or so.
You're on the board?
Yes. And there have been at least 14 complaints brought forth. I have a copy of those as well in the 7 years. So that's about an average of 2 per year. Christmas lights left up for 12 months at a time. Trash cans left out, not brought back to the house, hidden from view. Mr. Franklin practices in his yard some American freedoms, and that might be a reason for our privacy fence.
And what are you talking about, this freedom stuff?
Mr. Franklin is often nude in his own home. It's his home. He's allowed to be nude, but it's not something I would like my child to see.
You said nude?
Yes, ma'am.
Like
yes, Your Honor.
UDE, nude.
So why are you
As in
watching?
naked.
Are you watching background?
No, I put up a fence.
Yeah, huh?
And so you put up the fence, and who else saw that?
I believe most of the neighborhood has seen by now, Your Honor.
Okay.
What'd you do? Take
So is he
pictures or
working
something?
in
Send
his
them on
yard
Facebook?
nude? He says he's working the yard. So is he working nude in the yard?
I've seen him have a drink or two in the yard, but I've never seen him do any yard work.
So let's get back to the case at hand.
So I got a voicemail from Mr. Franklin. It was almost unintelligible. I had to listen to it a few times, have my husband listen to it. I could tell he was irate. I could tell he was angry, but I made an attempt, actually 3 attempts, to call Mr. Franklin to discuss it neighbor to neighbor. He did not answer, and then I received a letter in the mail saying you're being brought to court.
But did you think to go over to his house and knock on the door and say, hey, what's going on with my child? Or did you think to go knock on the neighbor's door and say, hey, what's going on?
I figured if I didn't hear from him that it was a misunderstanding that would pass.
Maybe he made a mistake that somebody else did something to his yard?
Right. Except for I did talk to Jackson. He said that, yes, I did ride my bike in his yard. Apparently, Mr. Franklin has been exchanging words with my son over the fence sometimes, talking about me and my husband.
Did he explain what those words were?
Not in total. He did say that Mr. Franklin often insults me and my husband, saying, "Oh, you think you're so great, you're gone, you know, where are they if they're such great parents? Are you a latchkey kid?"
Do you have anything against the kid?
Not necessarily, Your Honor.
Are you nude in your yard?
No, ma'am. It may have been one time after midnight, but, you know, who's going to be up and watching, you know, with the wife.
That may be an ugly
We
sight.
were having a good night. We had a few drinks, Your Honor, but, you know, it was...
Nude and bathing suit. Okay, we're going to take a break and we'll talk about that when I get back. Can you tell me why you say in your pleading that the defendant's son is out of control?
Well, I see it on my security camera.
But that
No,
was
it's
one.
24
The only
hours.
thing you brought before the court is that he messed up your yard, and there was one particular time.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any other reason you say that the child is out of
I
control?
can't think of that right this minute.
So have you ever had any other encounters with this child?
No, ma'am.
It was just that one particular
Yes, ma'am.
Incident where you were going out of town.
Yes.
But you've had some conversation with him evidently.
With the kid, I don't talk to my kid. I just told him I run him off if he ever gets around my yard. Tell him get away.
Were there any other conversations with the kid?
My son
No.
has had multiple altercations with him over the fence. Kids will be kids. He'll play ball in the yard. The ball might go in the neighbor's yard, you know, and he won't return the ball. And on those trips when my husband and I are away, I believe he's had more conversations with my son. And they're not friendly, they're not neighborly.
Well, tell me about your son in general. Is he a good student in school and at 15 and only child? And so is he left home alone?
He's left alone. We have meals for him. He can cook them for himself. He's not a great cook, so we often have pre-cooked meals for him. We've had no other complaints
I know
from
he's
neighbors.
15, but overnight?
He will stay in the house overnight by himself. We do have relatives in the neighborhood that he knows he can call if there were any trouble.
When you got this complaint from the plaintiff here, what did you think about it?
I was disappointed that we couldn't have a phone conversation about it or that it didn't just pass. As I've mentioned, I didn't think much of his yard to begin with, so I didn't think it was worth suing over. I was a bit surprised by that. With hindsight, you know, I wish we could have settled it where Jackson could go over and apologize, but again, with the history of altercations with him, my son didn't feel safe going over and talking to him about it.
You mentioned that you on the board
That's correct,
and
Your Honor.
that you had some problems with him. So has that been resolved?
So he has paid most of his fines. He does pay those on time, but he has at least one outstanding fee with our homeowners association.
I understand that your son wanted to be here. In fact, when we take our break, he did send me an email. Someone gave him my email address. He really wanted to be a part of this hearing. And I would assume he is a mature person. So when you talk with your son, what did he say specifically about making tracks in this man's yard? And we'll talk about that when I come back, and I'll read the letter or the email that he sent to me. Okay, court is back in session. And during the break, I had the opportunity to copy an email that your son sent to me. And basically, I'm going to read it. It says, Justice Jackie, I made the track in my neighbor's yard. I was in a bad mood because some people at school kept saying my parents don't care about me because they are always away from home. And I'm always home alone. They were calling me the home alone kid. It was like a week before that, I was walking home from school and I heard Mr. Franklin talking and yelling on the phone, said they are gone again. They always leaving that boy home alone. I got mad. They were right. My parents are always gone I went out to get my bike. Then I don't know what I did. I just lost it. And I decided to mess his yard up. I'm sorry. Wow. Did you see what your kid wrote?
I didn't know he felt that way. I think I need to have a conversation with him about it if he feels this way. From our point of view, he's been happy with our trips, and he likes the freedom of, having the house to himself and playing video games. And again, he gets good grades. He's a good kid. So,
15-year-old kid just happens quite often, where parents are so busy, not paying attention to the children. And I say this is really sad because it really takes a village to raise children. And sir, I heard you say that you work in the yard, and there's some conflicting testimony about, whether you do your yard or what goes on, but I'm concerned about this kid. When it takes a village, why not befriend that kid, teach him how to do the yard, make him feel like he is important. If y'all are neighbors, and neighbors some kind of way, even this world, need to come together. If you want to talk to that kid, my best days as a kid, and I learned a lot from my neighbors, I would go around and I would talk to my neighbors and find a lot of information that maybe in my home we didn't discuss. And ma'am, why not be in a situation where you can talk to your neighbor? If you're not at home, maybe he can watch your kid and they can have a relationship, they can bond. I am going to award the plaintiff $1,000, and I want you all to truly become neighbors. You have a kid that's hurting inside and you don't even know it. And sir, you have an opportunity. You are older and you can take that child and mold and shape, help the parents. Why can't we all get along, work together? Anything that you can enhance his life with. And ma'am, you all need to consider your life. You and you say your husband is a consultant as well. Take more time with your kid so that he won't go to school and feel like he's just home alone.
Your Honor,
Judgment for the plaintiff, $1,000. What do you have to say?
$2,000.
I'm going to award you $1,000. That's it.
So we just received a verdict, and we're here to see what the plaintiff and defendant think about that. So, defendant, what do you think?
well, I do believe it was fair. My son Jackson did cause damage, and he should be responsible. It wasn't the outcome we were hoping for, but I do feel it was fair.
And plaintiff, what do you think about the verdict today?
I was happy. I got the $1,000, but I came here for $2,000, so I'm happy.
Okay, well, great. So Justice Jackie did mention the two of you mending your relationship and becoming more neighborly. So now that that's been discussed, would you be open to letting your son go over to the plaintiff's home?
I would say yes if Mr. Franklin agrees to keep his clothes on.
Okay, well, so Mr. Franklin, are you open to keeping your clothes on?
I'll be keeping my clothes on from now on.
All right, well, I'm glad we were able to come to a conclusion today, so stay tuned for more episodes on Cajun Court TV.
Solving cases, she'll see it through. Justice Jackie.